I'm going to show you how to create a finance invoice in MotorDesk. There are three options. We recommend option 3, but I'll show you all 3 ways of doing it. The first option is to invoice the customer only. This is for when the finance company is happy to just accept the customer's invoice. We'll start by entering the customer's name in the customer section, and we're just selling this vehicle here, and let's add a 1-year warranty as well as a product. And then when we scroll down, we'll have this finance option here, and for option 1 we'll just put in the deposit amount, and then you add the finance provider as a contact. If you've not already set this up as a contact, you can just create a new contact by clicking here. That's all we need to do here, and we press create invoice, and that will just generate the customer invoice, which you can send to the finance provider provided they're happy to accept. The second option is to just invoice the finance provider. If you're doing this, then you put the finance provider as a contact as the customer. Again, if you haven't got one already, you can just set up a new one by clicking here. And if we go down and do the same thing with our vehicle and 1-year warranty, you then come to this second section and choose the deposit, and then you just enter the customer's name here. This will create a finance provider invoice which looks like this. The main issue with this approach is that the sale within MotorDesk will be to the finance provider and not to the customer. So we recommend option 3, which will create separate invoices for both the customer and the finance provider. And we do that by following the steps of option 1, by adding the customer as a contact in the customer section. Again, the same items being sold. And we come down here, type in the deposit amount, and then we type in the finance provider. And then all we do is click enable under generate finance provider invoice. There's no need to fill in this second section in this case. We can simply press create invoice, and once we issue the invoice, it then gives us a separate finance provider invoice. Do be aware that these are now 2 completely separate invoices, so editing one of them will not edit the other. If you need to amend the deposit amount in one, it will not change it in the other. So now if we click onto the finance provider invoice, we can see that it's an invoice to the finance company, and we can then issue that to the finance company. You'll then see the original customer invoice linked below. This is really good because you can mark them as paid separately, so it allows you to keep track of when the customer's paid you, and then separately, perhaps at a later date, it will let you keep track of when you've been paid by the finance company. This makes it easier to keep track of what you've received from the customer and when, and what you've received from the finance company and when. There are some finance provider invoice settings in business invoicing. If we go down, we can see there are options to include products, to include part exchanges, etc. on the finance provider invoice. So I'll select all of these, and then we'll create another one just so you can see. Save changes. So now when we go to sell another vehicle and create the invoice, if we sell it to the same customer, and we'll add a product again, under the finance section we'll type in the finance company and the deposit amount, and then we'll check enable. Now when we create the invoice, we'll issue the customer invoice so that we're given the finance provider invoice. And now you can see on this that the 1-year warranty has been included. This is also where any part exchanges, discounts or adjustments will be included.